Redmond, and today we're going to go over the planetary aspects that are surrounding us and affecting us for this upcoming week of September 4th through the 10th. And this week we have a lot of action going on out there in the skies. But luckily, for as many aspects as we have that are happening, they're not negative, and it's going to be a relatively harmless week. But it's a week of really culminating everything that's happened over the summer. And of course, here we are going into Labor Day already. Isn't that amazing? And the universe is responding in a way as well, helping us to reflect and look back on all of the interesting turns of events that have happened over this summer. How this summer really pushed us to start thinking in terms of our own personal purpose on this earth and what we're here to do and what would make us happier as we trudge along on this good old planet Earth. And really start focusing on the happiness that we need as an individual, as opposed to always fulfilling that for other people. Okay, a lot of things were brought to the surface thanks to that eclipse. And so starting out Labor Day, we have a ton happening. Oh my gosh, all the blogs are like going crazy around here, so they must be really like in full force. Oh, listen to them stop right now. Supporting this one here. So it starts out on Monday, on the 5th, on Labor Day itself. We have the Virgo Sun in opposition with dreamy Neptune. Now, this is going to make a really big impact. Of course, all of our Virgo friends are going to be feeling a little bit more self-aware over the next 4 weeks as a lot of these fast-moving planets transit through their signs. But the Sun is there in Virgo now. And our Pisces friends are going to be feeling this week a lot. Oh my gosh, by the way, Pisces friends, this is quite a week for you as well. Okay. Now, what's going to be happening is we have the Sun in Virgo that's opposing Neptune. Neptune rules the planet, or the sign of Pisces. Now, we have a little bit of a opposition going on, and because of that, it is, what's a way to narrow this down? When the Sun goes through Virgo, it's a time where we think about work. We're working hard. We're a little bit more practical, and we're more grounded, especially as we go through the summer where we've really been more dreaming of the things that we want. Virgo is the grounding force that holds us down and says, okay, well, you want that, you're going to have to work for it, dude. You know what I mean? And when it goes in opposition with Neptune, this creates a time where Neptune likes to dissolve boundaries. Neptune likes to dissolve away anything that really blocks us from our intuitive path. So when these two come up, you got this hardworking, maybe even in some cases overworking or overanalyzing energy that Sun brings in Virgo. And it comes up against that dissolver, Neptune. It really wants to give us a break, give us a chance to really rest and to reflect. And that's exactly how we're going to start the day out for Labor Day. I see this as a very beautiful time. We're taking it easy, enjoying what the summer has brought us, the insight that this eclipse has brought us, and really try moving forward from there, you know. But it's a wonderful energy to start it out and just relax and chill. Now, later that day, Mars, which is our engine, okay, this is going to affect our Aries friends the most. When I say Aries or Pisces or any other sign, this is going to be somebody that has their sun sign as that, someone who has their moon sign, or their ascendant. All of those in the birth chart, if this lands in the sign, this is really going to make an impact on you the most. And for this one in particular, as Mars transits into the sign of Virgo, it's going to impact our Aries friends the most, but all of us. So here we go. Mars, that engine that drives us, it's our passion, it's our motivation. It's moving into that hardworking sign of Virgo. So you will find over the next several weeks, as it transits through this earthy, grounded, work-focused sign, that's exactly where you're driven. It's exactly where you're thinking of putting your energy towards, is into your work. As it's been going through Leo over the past 7 weeks, it's about focusing on what's fun. It's about focusing on being a little bit more selfish and thinking about what is it that would make me happy? What do I need to do? And it's been a lot about playtime, right, over the past several weeks. But now as it goes into Virgo, the motivation goes towards our work, our health especially. Oh my gosh, because Virgo is the sign of physical health, taking care of our body, that mental physical balance, which is really coming into play this week with that Pisces full moon. Mental and physical balance. So as Mars goes through Virgo, we all start becoming focused on those daily routines and regimens that we have, our exercise, our daily diet, all these little structures of regimens that we have for ourselves to keep our health, both mental and physical, in line, right? My hair's all sticking out every which way here. It looked really cute when I did it earlier. Well, anyway, I'm sure y'all listen anyway, regardless, hopefully. Anyway, so now as it transits through this sign, this is huge because we all kind of get a push, right? This eclipse has been pushing us towards our greater life purpose, what would make us happier, how to devote the hours in a day to something we love as opposed to something we have to do because we have to do it, right? That's where Virgo comes in and just wants to work, work, work. But now that Mars is going through that sign, it hasn't been 3 years since it's been there. So we really get that energy and push behind us over the next 6 weeks as it transits through this sign to really start making some tangible steps forward to achieving these goals. Maybe it's something you need to start going to school about. Maybe you need to start reading about it. Maybe it's a relationship that has to end. Maybe it's a relationship that has to begin. There's all these things that push us into the next phase of our evolution. And Mars going through Virgo is really going to put the push behind us to get that done. But especially it's going to help put that push behind us to take care of our bodies, right? Number one thing we can all start doing a little bit more so is drinking water. That's a great daily thing to do that will help fill your cells with the energy that they need to be ruled, because we're ruled by water and the moon. What, 70-80% of us is water, right? And the cycles of the moon every 2 days are going to impact us the same because we are composed mostly of water. So we also ebb and flow like the moon, right? And this week we got a lot going on with that full moon too in Pisces, and I'll get to that in a minute. But first I want to get to Mercury because it still ties in with this eclipse cycle that's happening. We are still feeling the effects of it. I tell you what, because this was such a big one. This was such a big eclipse. That really was in terms of our life purpose. I did a lot on that over the past couple of weeks. Look back on my previous readings I've done online to really dig in deeper to see what that eclipse meant and to see how it affected your sun sign. I also did specific videos, horoscopes for each sign. But we'll nutshell it right here. This eclipse cycle is one of the first that's happened since 1999 on an astrological scale in terms of Leo, because it's all happened in Leo, with a lot of other components of the universe falling in that sign of Leo, where it's been kind of dormant over the past several years. Leo really shined this year, which is great because that is what Leo likes to do, as it's naturally ruled by the sun. We are the sun in our astrological charts. It's our ego, it's our identity, it's our essence, it's our sole purpose as to why we're here. Now eclipses represent new beginnings, and this was one that hasn't happened since 1990 in terms of us really coming to focus what makes us happy, what needs to be done to make this life happier for us so we can live in what our soul's purpose is. I always say each one of us represents a special frequency of God, right? We all carry these special, unique, individual gifts, and together as we combine them, we all emulate the grand essence of the divine energy of God, right? And this is where the world is calling all of us. We know the world's fallen apart and crappy and horrible and full of all this chaos. But if we improve each one of our individual frequencies, focus that energy on our own divine mission, together we can raise the vibration of the earth, because it's raising regardless. And the more that we raise it, the better we make this world. We do it by living in our purpose, right? So we're all feeling these effects of this eclipse. We still are. Of course we are. We're having dreams. We're feeling drained. Of course we're feeling drained. And that's okay, because this is bringing things to the surface for us, sifting out a lot of the past, bringing a lot of new insight for the future. And this week, we have Mercury leaving its retrograde phase. Now, Mercury goes retrograde for 3 weeks at a time, 4 times out of the year. Now, for Mercury to be in its retrograde phase during this powerful eclipse like we haven't seen in 20 years, think of that. What happened to you 20 years ago in 1999 in terms of your life purpose? We're back here again. We're back here again, ready to move to that next evolution. So to have Mercury, the planet of thought, the planet of the mind, the planet of speed, Retrograde at the time of the eclipse means we were really looking over the past decades to see where we've come, where we need to go in terms of what would make us happiest, right? And we're still feeling those effects, right? Man, oh man, energy is apt to tell you what. But I tell you, the reason why we're feeling so exhausted, the reason why they're having these dreams that we cannot remember, the reason why these things are happening is because it's planting new seeds for the future as to what it is we want moving forward. Letting go of the things we don't need, right? Now, as Mercury goes direct out of this retrograde cycle, all of that past becomes acutely aware. We're very, very aware of it. And since this year is a year of making changes, about these awakenings that are leading us to changes, we're getting these signs about where to go. This inner guidance that's stronger than ever, pushing us this year as to what to do. Mercury going direct helps us to put all of that into perspective and move forward with sharper, clearer thought. I also believe that that's going to make these dreams also sharper, where over the past few weeks they've been really murky and weird, and you wake up even more tired than you were when you went to sleep, because it's helping you. It's helping get you ready on a subconscious level for these changes that are coming in a conscious level. All this to make the dreams happen, right? And speaking of dreams, let's get into that full moon, okay? My goodness gracious, full moon time. Here we go. It was just the new moon a couple of weeks ago when we had that eclipse, representing those seeds that we put out into the universe for the new beginnings that we want to happen. Now here we go into the full moon phase. This is that culmination where we go from the new moon, where there's nothing in the sky at night, to the full moon, where the sun and the moon are in complete opposition of one another, illuminating each other's strengths and weaknesses, bringing certain cycles to an end. Now, we talked about this very first thing. We've got the sun on one side, right? That sun in Virgo, that's all about work, health, reality, tangible physical reality. And we've got Neptune on the other side, okay? Because that's where the moon is going to be at, is in Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces. So the moon is in complete opposition here in the sign of Pisces on Tuesday the 6th, okay? Now, as we go into this full moon cycle, a lot of those things from the eclipse, that noticeable shift in energy from the eclipse is more prevalent, okay? We're going to feel it a little more. We're going to be feeling very strong. We get psychic glimpses into where this powerful energy of the eclipse is leading us. Because Neptune is all about intuition. It's about our psychic connection and the metaphysical connection we have with the spiritual realm that leads us with this inner guidance. Okay, so it's like you have the sun in tangible reality in opposition with Neptune, which is dreamy and focused in that metaphysical realm of inner guidance. So it's, dreams versus tangible reality, I suppose you could say, because that's what Neptune pushes us to do. That's what this moon is pushing us to do, to focus on those ending cycles, right, because that's what a full moon is, those culminations where things have gone through their natural process, and now they're hitting their natural ending. And then we've got this beautiful energy behind it, too, of what are we dreaming for in the future. These things we've been very much aware of this year, because this year has constantly given us signs and guidance and dreams and thoughts and feelings, pushing us forward, thinking about what it is we want to do, how we want things to change, how we're dreaming bigger for our life on all different scales, right? So that's what the energy of this full moon has, kind of focusing into it, right? Turning those dreams into tangible reality and finding that little thin line between. This is also that thin line between, like I was saying, where the mental and physical balance comes into play. We really start to notice how our thoughts create the reality that's around us, how our thoughts create how our body reacts as well. Those types of things come into focus as well. Now, another thing to keep in mind, because Pisces is a water sign, the deepest feeling of all the water signs as well, emotions are going to be high just for that fact. But then to have it as a full moon on top of it, and to have it that first full moon, the ending cycle coming after this massive eclipse, I expect emotions to be incredibly high. So whatever comes to the surface, don't push it back. Don't say, I don't want to cry, I don't want to see this. Let it go, let it feel, let it flow. right? Because the energy is working through you to release the past, to move forward into the future. Absolutely. Now, since we have our wonderful retrograde Mercury finally going direct this week, helping get our minds in line, helping get communications rocking and rolling again, helping get movement going again, good time to start signing contracts again, traveling again, all of those things. As it leaves that retrograde phase, we're reminded, okay, because when it was in retrograde, especially as it was in the solar eclipse, it was in the sign of Leo. So much happening in the sign of Leo then, helping us to look to the past about how, of the things that we need, our needs in this lifetime, not just our wants, but our needs. And one of the main things is our happiness. What do I need to be happy? What do I need to be noticed? These are all Leo type things, okay, and our mind's been thinking of this. What do I need to feel appreciated, noticed for my talents, noticed for my creative efforts, noticed for me, just being noticed for me? Looking to the past about our creative potential within each one of us to make something out of nothing. Maybe for some people it's making some accounting structure work better. Maybe for some people it's physically creating smart work. Maybe for some people it's taking care of children. Maybe for some people it's doing hair. Maybe it's, you name it. Whatever it is, it's taking your essence and making the old work better because you've invented a new way that works better, right? Those things come into focus. Your individual soul purpose comes into focus, like you said. And most of all, fun, right? Where have we been lacking that in this life and moving forward now? As Mercury was thinking of these things over the past few weeks in that retrograde phase, now it's going back into Virgo. Virgo, the sign of making things a tangible reality, making it happen, working hard to make it happen as well. So you will find too that moving forward, it's going to be a little bit easier to put your mind on the prize, right? Getting it done instead of just thinking and hoping and dreaming like these cycles have been bringing us so far in 2017, the year of new beginnings. Now we're going into the second half of 2017 where those dreams start coming into reality. We've started putting our feet forward. We're starting to make things happen. We're starting to make those changes that we've been thinking about. You know, the law of attraction states, of course, you think of something over and over and over again, and then it's going to come to you. But it comes to you in the form of people suggesting things. It comes to you in the form of repetitive thoughts. And in order for you to receive these things, you got to act on it, right? You got to act on it, or else it's just going to pass you by, and then you're still going to be like, oh, man, this world doesn't work for me. This law of attraction don't work for me. Of course it does. Right, if you follow the nudgings of the universe. And this is where Mercury going into Virgo, and it's going to be there for the next 7 weeks too. It's like October by the time it gets out of there. Really focused on making it a tangible reality and moving forward with that life purpose, right? Because that's the main thing out of all this, getting you to be the more authentic you, more authentic version of yourself. That's what this year has been trying to do through these chaotic endings of 2016. Moving into the new beginnings that 2017 has to offer. It all is focused on your individual purpose now. Not individual purpose from a million years ago, but now. Where am I right now? And that especially becomes vital as the Sun and Pluto make a harmonious connection on Saturday the 9th. Okay? Sun and Pluto, this is the last trine of the year for them. It's a harmonious connection the two of them make. And of course, Sun being in Virgo, it's about what work needs to be done, the work we have in this purpose, the work we have with our bodies and our health and the service that we are to mankind with the gifts that we're given. Those things come into focus as Pluto, the planet that transforms whatever it touches, makes a wonderful connection with this planet. This is a great time to be focused on our life purpose and getting these goals accomplished. Energies behind it, especially as we have Mars going through that sign of Virgo too, really giving us that push, because it hasn't been there for 3 years. You know what I mean? A really big push behind us to start making these things happen. Moving forward. Wow, for a week of not a lot of energy, by golly, it sure has taken me 20 minutes to go over it. So let's get right into the reading here, kind of get a little bit more information, and I won't yippy-yappy too much moving forward. So let's put the stone note now, see what Archangel is working with us this week. Even though it's not going to be a chaotic week, it may very well be an emotional week with this full moon. And it's also a week where a lot of shifts are beginning to happen after this eclipse. We got a lot of things changing. So let's see what angels around us giving us that guidance we need moving forward into this week. Metatron. Who said Metatron? No. No, I know it is because it was the first one that came to mind. And how cool is that? Yes. Ow. It's like my whole foot went numb with that. That's really strong. Archangel Metatron. Yes, it is. Even though this isn't typically the stone I use for Metatron, but it is today because I look at it and I feel Metatron. But he is the angel of Virgo. He is the angel of hard work. He is the angel that helps clear away toxic energies out of all of our energy centers so that we can really get moving on what we need to. Okay, releasing of the past so that we can move into the future. Releasing toxic thoughts, releasing toxic memories, releasing toxic everything. You name it. He's the angel that's around. He helps us with a lot of things that happen on an esoteric level, on a spiritual level, on a metaphysical level. He's the angel of sacred geometry, and he really focuses on our energy centers. That's the main thing he does to help us kind of move forward with clarity. So he's around this week. Angel of Virgo, angel of work, angel of our purpose, angel of health. We have all these blocks on our centers that keep us from doing that. He's going to clear them. So just ask him, hey, Archangel Metatron, spend that cube of yours, help clear these things out. See what his message is. Oh, it's really cool too. You know what I mean? I was going to tell you this. Now I'm going to tell you this because here we are talking about it. Whenever you are using cards and you take them out and you look at the very bottom card. Okay. What a good one here. You take them out. And the bottom card always represents like a hidden extra message from the spirit world, what they want to tell you. And the very bottom one was Metatron, now that I think of it. It was the Dreamer. It was the very first card out of this entire deck of cards. And it represents the very first steps that we take on a new journey. Okay, a lot of us are facing a lot of new journeys this year, and I think that Metatron's there to let you know that when we follow those nudgings that lead us to new beginnings, there's a reason for it, and that we have that guidance behind us. This full moon helps remind us. There's a lot of energy behind it. So, all right, let's see. Archangel Metatron, make me stop yapping. Tell me your message. Just do it 2 more times. I feel like I need to do it 2 more times. As this Virgo sun shines through. The moon. Isn't that interesting? Oh, I see this in so many different ways. The moon is a card that represents, obviously, completion cycles of the moon. The phases. Remember I was just talking about that, how we're all affected by the moon in so many ways. If it affects us on a physical level because of the water that we have, imagine what it does on our intuitive levels, on our spiritual levels. And that's really where the moon shines the brightest, because it represents our intuitive state, our spiritual self. So here we are, this full moon is really bringing a lot through. And as I mentioned earlier, this eclipse has started some major changes for us moving forward. We're going to keep feeling those effects until February of 2018, when the next eclipse cycle happens. That's when things really come to a culmination. Check out what number we have on here. 18. A reminder again, you may be trudging along. You may not be seeing signs, but I can guarantee you by February of 2018 that you will. Okay? Ooh, I feel so strongly to say, especially a Virgo that's watching. There's some Virgo out there watching. They hear you, right? This card represents important psychic insights, events that are behind the scenes, and releasing the fears that hold us back. A lot of things that kind of say exactly what I was getting at not too long ago. But I think one of the main ones I also want to say is that full moons also, they shine a light on all the hidden areas, right? Because that's when that sun there ain't no crevice of the moon that's protected them, because the sun has totally illuminated it. So for us also, it's all those hidden things come to light as well. A lot of things were drudged up in that eclipse to bring change, so maybe this is the full moon that shines a light on them and makes things very obvious to you. can't ignore this one anymore, right? So there's a lot of messages that come with that. I'm pulling another card right now. Get a little bit of insight for Metatron, especially because it focuses on those chakras. Oh, how cool is this? I love this. I love this because it's another full moon. I love when I pull cards and they have the full moon cycle. This one's got a moon in it too. Right here, full moon. Goodness gracious bee. What a powerful moon this is going to be, huh? Golly, I'd be curious to see what it leads for everybody here. Okay, so this is a card of impatience, right? We all know what that means. I think Metatron's reminding us too, like I said, if we're wondering when these things are coming, they are coming in their due time, right? We've planted those seeds. We're still planting those seeds. Know that if you're feeling so divinely guided to do something or pray for something or want something, there is a reason because it's meant for your soul. But it doesn't mean it's meant to happen right now, right? You gotta be a little more patient. You gotta wait for these things to come through. And one of the main time frames they're telling me is by the time the eclipse cycle happens in 2018. Patience is a virtue, right? Virtues. Dang it all. No matter what, we got the guides behind us. Over here. There we go. Helping us, guiding us, leading us through this week of major energy, but a lot of wonderful energy as well. So everybody out there, thank you so much for watching.